Hey everybody, welcome back to Joyful Living. Today's video is going to be 5 tips to help you as your young adult children have descended back upon your household, whether that's for the holidays or due to the great unpleasantness. Some tips and tricks I have learned over these last few months that are helping all of us keep our sanity and hopefully keep our relationships intact until we get to the end of this thing. And I'm really glad that you're here. 2 of our 3 boys have been home since, gosh, when? Like they came home from college for the summer and then they stayed. Well, one went for a little while and then came home, and one went and stayed and just came home. And I think I speak for millions of parents in the United States and around the world that this has been the strangest time, particularly, well, when it comes to everything, but also particularly in regards to adult children who are coming home not just to visit, but to stay and sometimes to live. And depending on your situation, things have been in major upheaval. I talk to people all the time, a lot of my friends, a lot of my viewers, a lot of you, where you thought one thing was going to happen this year and something very different has happened. And now you add to that the financial reality that there are a lot of people moving back in with parents, or sometimes parents moving back in with their kids that never imagined this would be the situation. And then layer onto that we can't partake in our normal social events like going out or hanging out with friends or going on vacation or being in public. So the bottom line is, there's a bunch of us that are together a lot. And I've come up with some strategies through a lot of failure where we've had good days and some not so good days. And we've kind of hit on this way to respect each other. And I have really found some ways to ensure that I can take really, really good care of myself in the midst of all the uncertainty and the upheaval and all of the family time. So let's dive right in. If you are not subscribed to this channel, I really wish you would. Subscribing is free. It costs you nothing. But if you enjoy my videos and you like this kind of content, it would be a personal favor and it really does mean a lot to me. So the number one thing that I would recommend if you have a house full of people is create a sanctuary. Now, I have done that here in a corner of my bedroom. Some of you might have an office where you can do that. Someplace with a door is preferable. But I'm a person who needs my alone time. If I do not get alone time, I get very short-tempered, I get very irritable, and I know I'm not alone in that. And what typically happens is I don't think it's bothering me, and then about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I just feel very overstimulated, kind of like a toddler, and like a toddler who's getting ready to have a temper tantrum. So having a space that I can go to with a door that closes, and most importantly, having a family that understands that when I do that, I'm not mad at anybody. I just need a timeout. And for me, it's best if I can come in here and take that timeout before I'm like snapping at people and desperate for it. But I did take the time to really carve out this space. I'll insert right here a short little IGTV video I did when I was in the process of getting it set up. Hey, you guys. First of all, I am overjoyed right now. This is a new little station I have created in my master bedroom. A little teapot for one and this Bella electric tea kettle. But check out what I did in this little drawer. I have got coffee mugs because I will accept visitors in my magical space. I've got the sweetener that I use, and then I've got, this is Yorkshire tea. I've also got some hot cocoa, some decaf chai, and then my calm chamomile that I use every night, and also some Advil. And then in this drawer, I put some journals and some pens, and also the remote to the TV that is up here. You might need a little space in your master bedroom. There's my cozy blanket where you can just escape and think amazing thoughts and regather your energy for the task ahead. I did order a few things off of Amazon. Those are in my Amazon storefront if you're interested. But, just having the option of having tea or hot cocoa up here, having a candle that I can light, having my books and magazines. I happen to have a TV in here. And my family knows if I'm in here and the door is shut, that means I really need some alone time. And even my husband knows that. And obviously this is his room, so he can come and go as he pleases. But he has become very respectful of the fact that I am a person who needs alone time and solitude in order to recharge my batteries. And if I don't get it, I'm not good for anybody. So number one, create a sanctuary. Number two is pace yourself. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And I know that maybe if you're like me, when the kids were first all at home, you're like, okay, I'm going to cook 7 nights a week and we're all going to eat healthy and the house is going to be clean and I'm going to have this great routine and everything is going to be fantastic and it's just going to be wonderful and I'm going to get up early and I'm still going to get all my exercise done and I'm still going to work from home and yeah, it's going to be great. And you can't really sustain that. So you want to make sure that you're being realistic. Now, how that played out for me is instead of cooking dinner 7 days a week, I now cook dinner 3 nights a week. I meal plan for 3 nights a week. We do pizza one night. We sometimes will do takeout one other night, and then people are on their own because after all, these are grown-ass adults. And they are able to cook for themselves, and that's okay. Now, I kind of went too far the other way when everybody was cooking for themselves, and that's not good for every meal because then it's just all the more messes and all of those sort of things. But we have sort of settled into this routine. People know that they are more than welcome to go to the grocery store and buy whatever they need, to cook whatever they want. But it was unrealistic and really not fair for me to expect that somehow I would go back to cooking all of our meals 7 nights a week like I did when they were little, when A, they're adults, and B, it's just very different circumstances right now. So come up with a pattern that works for you about how much you're going to be cooking. What does the family involvement look like as far as cleaning is concerned? Make sure people are pulling their weight. Make sure people are picking up after themselves. And yeah, just don't wear yourself out thinking that it's your responsibility to make the home perfect for everybody else, because that's no way to live a life. And it's frankly just not possible, and you're just going to end up frustrated. So anyway, at least I do. I mean, I don't know about you. Maybe you're capable of more than me. Probably not. All right, the number 3 thing is routine, especially as we get into the holidays. If you don't have a job outside of the home and you're working from home, it can be very easy to kind of let the routine slip away from you. I need structure. And with everyone home and schedules not always matching up and days kind of blending together, especially if you work for yourself like I do, a routine is incredibly important. And I've talked about this before, but when I work in my plum paper planner, the first thing that goes in there is my time off. You have to schedule your time off, and then you have to schedule your work time in a realistic way. I think that it's very easy to think I've got all the time in the world to get everything done, especially since we shouldn't have a lot of obligations that are outside of work and home right now. You shouldn't be gathering with friends. You shouldn't be doing social activities. So it feels like you have all the time in the world, but then you end up feeling like you have no time at all because it's not well planned and you're not utilizing the time that you do have. So I have now got things on my planner like the day that I change the sheets, the day that I vacuum the upstairs of the house, the day that I vacuum the downstairs of the house, when do I clean the bathrooms? And having that routine set in stone, knowing that most days I'm going to start my work day around 10 and I'm going to work till about 3, and that is my designated work time. My family is aware of that. Having that structure makes a huge difference in my mental clarity, and it helps me wake up every morning and feel like, okay, I have a purpose, I know the direction where I'm going, and the rest of the family can do whatever they need to do, but this is my schedule and what I need to do to keep myself sane. So definitely establishing a routine. All right, number 4 is really around conflict, and you're going to have conflict. You're a family. You're going to have things you're not going to agree about. All of the issues that maybe you've had with your kids for a long time are still going to be there. Maybe all of the issues you've had with your spouse for a long time are still going to be there. And people have fewer options for escape. So it's really helped me to remember that when things get heated or a conversation isn't going in a good direction, I can just walk away. And again, coming back to a sanctuary, a place you can go to shut the door. And you don't have to resolve every conflict in the moment. That's one thing that our counselor taught us. Scott and I have both been to individual counseling and also through marriage counseling. Sometimes it's just best to walk away, and you can do it in a respectful way. Sometimes the person hears you, sometimes they don't. You can say, I feel like we're not getting anywhere and I need a timeout, and just remove yourself from the situation. And usually that gives everybody the opportunity to kind of cool down, to not say something they regret. And it just, I started doing this really when the kids were little and would be having a temper tantrum in the family room. And instead of asking them to go to their room, I would just go to mine. I would put myself in timeout. So another way to put that would be put yourself in timeout when it gets tense. And by the way, you're not the only family in America that is having problems like that right now. We all are having problems like that right now. Okay, so if anybody is an influencer and tries to tell you that their family is all getting along great with everyone having to be home 24/7, it's not true. And if it is true, then just don't be friends with them. It's not going to help you mentally to be friends with them. All right, and then this last tip number 5. Have grace for your family and have grace for yourself. We are living in times that no one could have prepared for. No one could have seen this coming. No one could have known the months and months and months that would turn into years that we were dealing with this. I mean, it hasn't quite been a year. It feels like years. And we really are all doing the best that we can. So have grace for the people that you love if there's some misplaced hostility, especially if your young adult kids are getting stressed out about things and they're taking it out on you. But maybe most importantly, have grace for yourself. I think we tend to feel that because we're the grown-ups in the room, that we should have it all figured out and we should be able to always have a good day. You're not always going to have a good day, and you're not always going to have a good moment. You're going to lash out at your family irrationally from time to time. At least I do. I lash out at my family irrationally from time to time. You're going to have days where you just don't have the energy to do the things that you want to do. You're going to have days when you're sick of the mess and you're sick of the chaos and you just want it to be back to normal. And you're going to be angry. And it's okay. And hopefully, most of the time I handle that well. But when I don't handle it well, I apologize to whomever it is that I need to apologize to, usually my husband. And we all move forward because we know that we're all going through such a difficult time and we're all trying to show up every day and give it our best shot. And some days you do a great job of it and some days you just don't. And that's okay. And that doesn't make you a bad person. That just makes you a family trying to get through a global pandemic. And that is where I will end because I want us all to remember the circumstances in which we find ourselves. This doesn't feel easy because it's not. It's really, really hard. And there are only so many tips and tricks I can give you to help you set up a system for success. But the bottom line is you're going to have some dark days. I'm having some dark days. But at the end of those dark days, I go to bed and I say my prayers and I wake up the next day and I try to start again. And that's really all we can do is to keep moving forward. So hang in there. I hope you have a fabulous Thanksgiving. I hope that you can use some of these tips and tricks in your daily life. And even if you can't, I hope that hearing from me, just that, it's tough all around, is helpful and makes you realize that you're not alone. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're finding joy and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.